Hello everyone, Niev here, and today we are doing another iteration of the Tableau-Style reading, card reading. But I thought I'd experiment a little bit and see if we can create some readings or layouts using planetary squares. So that's what I have here. This is just a list of the different planetary squares. I'm not sure where I got this from. I think I just Googled it. I will try to leave a link down in the description if I can find where I got this from. I've had this for a few years, so I'm not sure where I got it, but I'm pretty sure I just printed it off from somewhere. Anyway, so obviously planetary squares has to do a bit more with, say, the planetary magic in general, ceremonial magic, chaos magic, etc. But because they're squares, squares with positions, I thought it's kind of the perfect avenue for experimenting with Tableau-style card reading. Yeah, so I did also just do another video, very similar. It wasn't part of my Tableau series, but it was just kind of a separate one-off thing that I did, but it's very similar to this, and I did that using bingo cards. So please go check out my bingo cards video. Yeah, only 15 people, it's only got like 15 views on it, so please go give that one a look. Yeah, and that was a lot of fun to do, and it was mostly focused around spirit communication. So this one is going to be a little bit on magic and a little bit on perhaps connecting with the energies of these different planets. All right, so let's get started. So we'll start off with a Lenormand, and I have my Lenormand here. This is the deck that I made myself, and I guess I'm trying to, market myself a little bit better here in my videos and say, hey, I have a deck too if you're interested. It's a Lenormand. It's on MakePlayingCards, so go check this out if you're interested. This is called the Long Weekend Lenormand, and it's called that because I did all of the artwork in a matter of a few days, and yeah, so that's up on MakePlayingCards, and I got the hollow version, so it's kind of got that holographic sort of coloring to it. Yeah, so pretty neat. Anyway, so obviously with planetary squares, a 36 card deck is not going to work with all of these. I mean, we have the moon here. This is a 9 by 9 square, so this doesn't have 81 cards in it. I could go grab, I have this one here. The Common Oracle has 84 cards. I could use that. I could also use this Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle that has 88 cards. So this isn't out of the realm of possibility of a spread that we could use, but it is going to be a large one. So I'm going to not do this one in this video. Now a 36 card, I can do pretty much I can do obviously Saturn, Mars. Venus is how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can't do Venus, which means I also can't do Mercury. I can do the Sun, and I can do Jupiter with a 36 card deck. Now, the one that probably fits the best for this, is probably the Sun, because it's a 6 by 6, so there's 36 squares. So that one's probably the exact one I could use if I wanted to use a full tableau of the Lenormand. Yeah, and in fact, I will lay out one, and I'll actually lay it out in order, and we can work from there. Okay, we got it all laid out in order from the very top here all the way down to the very bottom, which you cannot see because that is the thing with full tableaus, grand tableaus. They are very large, and that is why I prefer small decks when it comes to Lenormand and Tableau-style reading in general. Yeah, so anyway, so this is a 6 by 6 tableau for Lenormand, and it is it's the house system because they're all in order, from writer all the way down to cross way down here, which is not in the screen, but believe me, it's there. All right, so one way that I was thinking about using something like this, we have basically a house system. We can now, using the sun planetary square, because this is what we have here, a sun planetary square, we can create a sigil for a spell. So spells or readings involving the sun or the sun planetary guidance here would have to do with, it could have to do with the self, like spells all about yourself, like your being, yourself. Like it would be a great one to do for like personal things involving you, the self. It's also, the sun is also associated with vitality and therefore health, good health, and also like monetary gains. Whereas Jupiter is great for work, for general prosperity, more long-term prosperity. The sun is good for like monetary, like temporary even wealth, just like very quick. The sun is much more quick wealth, whereas Jupiter is a bit more long-lasting. So something like that. Now, what you can then do is create a sigil. So I'm going to turn this around and kind of write out some sort of like petition, and we will figure out a sigil for that. So trying to figure out what my petition will be. So the sun has to do with vitality and health, and also monetary gain, especially quick monetary gain. It also has to do with like being seen, you know, the sun, it shines the light on things, so it's things coming to light. I think I want to tap into the wealth aspect, the money aspect, and you know what, let's do something having to do with sales for my deck. Sure, let's do that. So let me see, maybe many people buy the long weekend Lenormand. All right, so there's my petition. There's my this is what I'm manifesting, I guess. And there's lots of videos on how to do sigils and stuff. There's lots of different ways you could do it. One of the basic ways you can do number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then yeah, and because this goes. Oh, yeah, and it's since we have that, yeah, since there's 36, let's do this. So we got 1 through 9, then I'm also going to do 10, or maybe it should have 10 right here. 1 through 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, that's correct. But that's basically what we're doing. So all of these are connected like that. So then, now, a lot of what other people do with their sigils, they might cross out all of the vowels, and I understand that. My only concern with that is that why have A, E, I, O, U in here if you're going to cross them out? You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like, we could do one, yeah. Because I've usually, because that's the way everyone does it, is they cross out all the vowels. I might go ahead and stick with that. So I'll cross out all the vowels. Cross out the vowels. But I bet you could do this where you keep the vowels, you know. There's no rule saying you can't. And then you start crossing out the repeated letters. So we have M, N, Y, P, P, L, B, Y, T, H, L, G, we can keep, W, N, D, did we already have D? Nope. D, L, we can take out, N, we can take out, R, we keep in, M, we take out, N we take out, and D we take out. So what do we have left? We have M, N, Y, P, L, B, T, H, we already have N, G, W, K, D, R, and that's it. Okay, so from there, let's see, we have M right here, M, N, Y. See, I'm still trying to figure this out. I'm figuring this out as I figure it out with you guys. So just trying to see if this works. Now at this point, you know, I have to try to figure out which number I want to go with each of these. So I feel like it should be a different one. So I feel like what you should do is just go by what makes, what looks best, I guess. So M is under the 4, 13, 22, or 31. Okay, to make this a little bit easier for me, I just, off camera a little bit, just worked this out a little bit. I haven't tried this before, so this was a little bit of an experiment for me. So I did the normal, you know, my statement, many people buy the long week in Lenormand, great. Then 1 through 9, and we have a few rows of that. Now, making sigils from planetary squares is easiest on a Saturn square because there's 9 squares, you know, there's 9 slots. But since we're doing a much larger square here, the Sun square, I had to sort of figure some things out. So because we get some letters in the same columns and stuff, and we have multiple numbers to choose from, what I did was I went through and I figured out where each of the numbers are on the Lenormand here. And remember, the Lenormand is in order right now. So I picked what is, since we're starting off with M is in this category, and it could be a 4, a 13, a 22, or a 31, you know. And so what I did is I spent some time to figure out what, see where I think I chose 4 for this. So 4 on here is right here. So it's 1, 2, 3. It is fish. Fish is in the square. Let me do that. Fish was in that slot. I hope that makes sense. In the square. So fish having to do with abundance, that's perfect to start. So we start with 4. And then I figured it out, whichever ones were the best ones from there. So the next one was N. Under N, we have 4 different options of numbers to choose from. I chose option 32, and according to our planetary square, option 32 is right here. So it's all the way up here, and it's clover, which is small increases. So that's perfect. So I just kind of went through that for the whole thing. And so now we'll create a sigil. So we start off with 4 right here, 4, and then the next is 32. So we're going to do a straight line to 32 right there, just making sure it's nice and dark there. And then next was 25, then 34, 25, 34. I did do quite a long sentence, which I didn't need to do a long sentence, but I kind of, you know, I did what I normally do, which is create a sentence for my petition. So then we have 35, then 16, it comes back over here. 5 is down here, so 5, and I put an X at the end. All right, so I will trace that real quick, and we will have a petition or a sigil. Okay, so here is the final sigil. Yeah, so it is very interesting here. So that is for many people buy the Long Week in Lenormand sigil. So and how that connected to the tableau. We started off fish, which is great to have here, as its abundance. Clover also. Very good. This is basically the sentence. This is the sigil in Lenormand here. Ring, home, ship, anchor, garden, tree, bear, moon, Let's move this up a little bit. Book, heart, and person, which is me. So that is fabulous. So we start off with abundance, and we kind of have our own little mini tableau here, because we kind of have this, it's like a 5x2 plus 3. We got a little tableau created from this sigil. So, and I chose the cards based on whatever they landed in and where it sat in the planetary square, on what made the most sense for what my purpose is. My purpose is for people who are interested in my deck to buy my deck. So, yeah, so we start off fish, that's abundance, small increases, so lots of small increases and commitment to the home and to shipping to the home, and that's stability in the community and growth. And also more stability here with the bear, recognition, and financial books here, and making myself very happy. So there we go. Yeah, so that's certainly one way of doing that. And that was using Lenormand with the Sun planetary square. And that was quite complicated, I know, but that was just one way, to use it. And from that, we do have a little reading here. We do have a 5x2 plus 3, and I could lay them all out in a row, but something like this makes sense too. Now, another thing that you could do is, instead of having all the cards in order, you could actually lay out a 6x6 completely shuffled, just a totally random 6x6 grand tableau, and then do a similar process, maybe a smaller sentence, so it's not so many options here, not so many twists and turns like this sigil was, but a nice simple sentence or a word or two, and then creating a sigil from that, and then you would have maybe 5 or 6 of these that, and they were placed very randomly, so it wasn't in order. It wasn't like the houses situation, but like just laying it out as a normal tableau. So that's another way you can do that. So as I mentioned, a Saturn square is probably the most common planetary square that's used for sigils, just because it is 9 exact numbers here. It's 1 through 9. So there's no guessing on which number goes to which letter, and it makes it nice and simple. And plus, Saturn is associated with magic in general, so you could use a Saturn square for basically any working to create that initial sigil, because you can have that sigil say anything. Like you could have it say protection, you could have it say abundance, you could have it say things like that, and then put it on that 3x3 grid here. So that's definitely a different way you can do it, and a lot of people do use a Saturn seal, a Saturn square for just magic in general, because it's a 9 slot square. So and what's nice about the Saturn square too is that it is a 3x3, which is pretty typical. That is in Tableau-Style reading. That is a portrait, a box. So one of the things I was thinking of, you could use a Saturn square for let's say timing, and I pulled out the Klimt tarot here. It's a mini version, and to make it very specifically a Saturn square, we need to lay it out in the order of the squares. So I'm going to put this off to the side so I can just glance at it. So let's come up with a sample question here, and it's going to be somewhat of a timing situation. We can say something like, when will Patrick hear back about the business proposal? So that's the question. When will Patrick hear back about the business proposal? I'm going to shuffle this a little bit until I feel that the deck is set. And Patrick, of course, is a fictional person. The business deal is a fictional deal. This is just for practice. But yeah. Maybe if your name's Patrick and you're waiting on a business deal, maybe this is for you. I don't know. Or Patricia, Patrick or Patricia. All right, so I feel like this deck is set. I'm going to split once right here. All right, so the first position is right down here. And I think I'm going to place them down upside down for right now. And I'm going to zoom in too. All right, hopefully that's a little better. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, now we have a timing square here. So for this, we're going to do days, weeks, and months. And we'll see what comes up from there. So under the days category, let's see, we have some cards that are having to do with communication here. We have some working together. We have the 3 of coins with the Queen of Swords and the Ace of Cups. Is this the Ace of Cups? It says a 1 on it. I think that's the Ace of Cups. Okay, I mean, that's a pretty good sign. That means Patrick will probably hear back within a few days because we do have something that's, there's a team working on it. There's cooperation going on. There is communication. We have the Queen of Swords here. That is communication. And then we have the Ace of Cups, which is an outpouring of that connection. So what's going to happen more in the future then? Okay, so in the matter of weeks, we have the King of Coins, the Knight of Swords, and the 4 of Wands, batons, clubs, whatever you want to call it. I mean, things are progressing pretty well here. I mean, the King of Pentacles or Coins, that's a very prosperous card connected to the Knight of Swords. So there is a lot of movement. There's a lot of things happening. And the 4 of Wands is a sort of celebration, and things are really working out for Patrick here. So in a matter of a few days, we're probably going to hear something about the business proposal, something that will move pretty quickly and in a pretty good way. And now what's going to happen in the next few months? We have the 7 of Wands. So a lot of like pushback, defense going on. We have the King of Wands here. Some standing firm leadership energy. And then finally we have, it is the Page. Yes, the Page of Swords. Wow, a lot of communication and a lot of people cards. We got a lot of court cards here. We got the Queen of Swords, King of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, King of Wands, and the Page of Swords. So there's a lot of people working in here, and we really see that with the 3 of Pentacles, the 3 of Coins. That is a lot of people working together on this. A lot of cooks in the kitchen, and that's why we do see some conflict here in the coming months. In the next few days, Patrick will hear back. In the next few weeks, things will really be progressing and moving forward. There will be some hiccups that Patrick will need to take a leadership role on, or someone will need to take a leadership role on. And then we end it here with the Page of Wands, which is some eagerness for the future beyond that. So, I mean, that was a pretty good reading. And I mean, from there, you can, again, go into some further detail. But the way that related to the Saturn square was we laid it out in the positions of Saturn. And so, and it was very specifically a timing reading. And that's a great way you can use a Saturn square is for timing. And then we have days, weeks, and months, or whatever time period you're looking for when you're doing a reading like that. Okay, next up for our experimentation, I am using the Common Oracle here, the 84-word mini deck by Lennox Reese. And I'm going to use a Venus square for this because, and I shuffled cards and laid them upside down in order, oops, sorry, bumped the camera, from 1 to 49. So quite a few cards here. And what I've done here is I've basically made a kind of a spirit board. And that's kind of what I was doing with the bingo thing. So go check out that video if you're interested. But we're doing the Venus square here because I'm going to say we have an imaginary couple here, Jeremy or Jerry. Yeah, we'll go with Jerry because then that's a little more neutral there. Jerry and Rebecca. So this is a relationship reading for Jerry and Rebecca. Let's say that Jerry is the querent, the person asking about this, and let's say he or she, they have a few questions about their relationship with Rebecca. So we have it here. Let's come up with a first question, or at least, a topic for the question. Okay, I've got 3 questions that Jerry has about his or their relationship with Rebecca. Like, what does Rebecca need from Jerry? What should Jerry do to improve the relationship? What do the next 3 months look like for Jerry and Rebecca? That's pretty simple 3 questions there. And I've separated the numbers out to 7 since this is a Venus square. We have 7 by 7. So I did numbers 1 through 7 and then 8 through 14, etc. up to 49, and then had the letters underneath it to assign to that. All right, so we got to figure out, excuse me, the first question here. So I'm going to grab my pencil. So we're going to cross out all the vowels. Cross out all the vowels and any repeating letters. I'm going to cross out D, S, F, R, M, J, R, Y. So we have this total is R, B, C, N, D, S, F, M, J, Y. All right, so it's quite a bit. Now from there, I can start pulling out the cards. So we have R. R is under this category, and I'm going to intuitively grab which one of these. So I'm going to say R is associated with 18. So 18 on here is right here. It is 3 over and 3 down. 3 over from the right and 3 down. So we have air. So it could be communication, but let's finish this up. So I'm gonna pull the rest of these. Okay, so we have air, reason, feast, bond, origin, hunger, wither, key, memory, and fortune. So that's what Rebecca needs from Jerry, and that's the order of it as well. So we can break that up. Air, reason, feast. We need to have Rebecca needs for Jerry to speak to what they both need, what they can feast on together, and then we have a bond and origin and memory right next to it. Bond, more, and this is also how I'm not necessarily even reading them in the order that I pulled them. I could also read what group together, what's grouping together. We have key, memory, bond, origin, and air. Right here, the key to this is, where this came from, or the bond that was created by the memories and the origin of the relationship. And air having to do with communication, but it can also mean having to do with space, having some space. But with the other cards here, I think it's more about communication and communication about, where this came from and what's going on. And if, we've got fortune, hunger, and wither are 2 of the decrease cards that we see here, because we have fortune and feast, things like that that are, more abundant. Whereas we have wither and hunger here. So like things can die out. So things need to stay in motion. That's kind of how I'm reading that. So what does Rebecca need from Jerry? She needs the strong connection that they had in the past, and for communication, reasoning, and constantly feeding that, the relationship. And you can also read into it a little literally and be like, it ends with fortune here. So, could have a little bit to do with some money as well. but yeah, in general, just a lot of communication and continuing that bond and that connection to how they came together. So yeah. So then the next question was, what should Jerry do to improve the relationship? I put that as Jerry action and reduce that down. Got all the numbers and the words, flip those over just now. We have transform, strength, burden, horizon, hope, and dream. Those are really good. So I would say keeping those hopes up. You've got hope, dream, horizon, strength. It is a burden. Perhaps there's feelings you have to deal with and have strength on, but transforming those burdens into strengths and looking to the future. So that's kind of the action that Jerry should take, is keeping his hopes up and staying positive in this. And there we go. Okay, and the final question is, what do the next 3 months look like for Jerry and Rebecca? And I reduced that down to next 3 months and created a letters from that. And we have tension, harvest, needs, calling over here, shelter, which was, where was shelter? Shelter right there. Shelter, door, and bridge. So, there is tension in the next 3 months. Perhaps there's a lack of focusing on those needs. So I would advise Jerry to pay attention to his needs, or their needs, as well as Rebecca's needs. I keep, I'm not convinced on the gender of Jerry. That's why I keep saying he, and then maybe they, yeah. But anyway, so Jerry needs to be aware that tension could arise in the next 3 months regarding this relationship with Rebecca, and things may be coming to ahead here with harvest. Harvest could be a good thing. You're harvesting the fruits of your labor and stuff, but there is tension going on, and we do have a door, which could indicate an ending, but it's more that it's ending with crossing a bridge. So there is some tension that's going to come up with Jerry and Rebecca in the next 3 months, and it's something that Jerry needs to pay attention to and to not slough off on those needs, and understand what Jerry's calling is here. And make sure it's nice and sheltered. And I like that shelter is right here in smack dab in the middle of the reading. So there we go. That could mean something. So and we end it with going through a door and crossing a bridge. So there is going to be a transformation of the relationship in some way in the next 3 months. So that's basically the reading here, and I didn't even flip over all the cards. We just flipped over a few cards here to sort of answer 3 questions about a relationship. So there we go. So and we can mess around with this more. The Mars square is pretty similar to the bingo square because it's 5 by 5. So could combine those methods in a certain way. Yeah, and Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, these ones are the ones that are going to be the most easy to read in this method of using magic squares for Tableau-style card reading. So those ones are the ones that make the most sense, but I did want to try one of the bigger ones here with Venus, and we did also try the Sun one, since there are 36 places in the Sun square and 36 cards in Lenormand, so I thought I'd give that a shot. A little bit was, it was a little bit, trying too hard, but But I think that what I was doing kind of makes sense. You just have to, I think my phrase was maybe just a little bit too long for this. But with that said, I do have now have a nice sigil for my for my right here it is for my long week in Lenormand. So here's my sigil. Maybe I will tear that out and put it with a candle, and perhaps I'll get some sales. So cool. Yeah, so I will definitely, I really enjoyed doing the Saturn square though, and laying out that 9 card box with the tarot cards and using it as a timing spread. I thought that worked really, really well, and I am going to try that again in the future. So there we go. All right, thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'm not sure what the next Tableau style video is going to be about, but I will think about it and come up with another topic. Or you can help me out and say what kind of Tableau style questions do you have that maybe I can answer in a future video. All right, thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye.